guys? Alright. Sorry about the wait, you guys. Welcome viewers to the Game 2 of Hebinx versus farfelu. This is Game 2 of the Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Randomizer tournament for SG Live. As you may know, so far as right now, farfelu is 1 with Hebinx being 0. If Hebinx wins this match, they will be going on to Game 3, which will decide who moves on to the finals. And so far, we have Hebinx with his main character by using his Twitch name, Hebinx. As for farfelu, it seems like we don't know what he has his name being, but I guess we'll soon find out. On the offhand, we have an interesting race on our hands right here, because we have like a 1 through 5 random battlefield with the battlefields being shuffled, meaning the gray battlefields is for EXP, the green battlefields is for gold, and blue battlefields is for like a quest stamp. And the stats for enemies is like 25 to 125, and bosses 25 to 150. It seems we got us started for it seems we have a okay. Seems we have Mask and Dragon Claw on Hebinx's side. While along with and Hebinx also gotten Meteor. While farfelu's side has the same thing as Hebinx. And seems and farfelu has Exit. Yeah, I don't know what happened to the tracker. And see, with both Hebinx and farfelu actually getting Tristram, and Hebinx is now on the blue battlefield, clearing it to see what item they get from it. While farfelu is diving Bone Dungeon, and he has obtained the Thunder Rock. Oh, farfelu is getting the Mega Grenades from Tristram. And Hebinx has also gotten the Mega Grenades and Thunder Rock as well. With farfelu getting Flare, the most powerful wizard spell in the game. With Hebinx actually getting the same thing. And we have farfelu has now gotten the Moon Helm and the Sand Coin. we have Hebinx getting the same coin as well, along with the moon helm. Ah, so both farfelu and Hebinx have Wake Water, and they're skipping. They're pretty much noping out of a bone dungeon and heading towards Aquaria. And on the way, Hebinx has picked up the tree weather, in which farfelu is actually doing the same. And with Hebinx getting Phoebe, he's now taking on the blue battlefield that holds the item, which is basically 4 battles in this kind of battlefield. It's understandable. Apparently somehow I didn't get a tracker. But alright. Thank you. Alright. Anyway, sorry about that. Anyway, we have Hebinx going both Hebinx and farfelu going in the battlefield near Wintry Cave. And we got the Aegis Seal from both sides. That is a real good one, because it gives you protection from the petrification. And plus, we also got Thunder. Thunder is not usually very useful as sometimes, considering it's only first spell. But Flare is the most powerful wizard spell you can get in the game. And it's a fire-based spell which does a lot of damage. Now we have we have Hebinx going out of there by manual walking, and farfelu to use Dex to get out. And farfelu has gotten the Charm Claw, even though it's not needed since he has a Dragon Claw. Oh yeah, I did fail to mention. the required items for Go mode happens to be a sword, Dragon Claw, Mega Grenades, Sun Coin, Sky Coin, Thunder Rock, Captain's Cap. To get to Dark King. And because this is a save crystals, to get the Sky Coin, they have to beat all 4 dungeons that are guarded by 4 guardians of the crystals. Flamerous being the earth. Ice Golem being water. Twin-headed Hydra being the being fire, and Pazuzu being wind. Those are the basic things. Those are the basic ones you need to get the Sky Coin. Now we have Hebinx actually going after the Earth Crystal, the light, and with Hebinx doing life, Flamer's Rex is completely annihilated, and he has lit his first crystal, which is the Earth. Farfelu went into the Focus Tower and actually got the spell White. White is the second most powerful wizard spell in the game, because it's a non-elemental damage. Does non-elemental damage. Hebinx was basically clearing a 1 green battlefield just for money, which I understand because it's needed for the vendors, in which the vendor in Aquaria was offering a fire book for 200 gold. Not very powerful spell compared to Flare. Now on Farflu's side, we have him running into a double inflict, yeah. In-flight, if-flight bell, and it's really doing it's really taking him down. But nothing a meteor would take care of, and he's got the and Farfelu has gotten the Captain's Cap for his troubles. Oh, I did forget to mention the Mobius crest too. Oh, and the river coin that Farfelu got from Spencer when he defrosted the Aquaria. Seems we have Farfelu actually running to the vendor in Firebird, and we got a Libra crest for 500. On Hebinx's side, we see him facing off against a snow crab. And you know what they say, snow crabs are really tough in this kind of season. Now on Farfelu's side, we have him going after Jin. See what, and along with trying to get Ruben's item from the mines. Plus, since he has the mega grenades, he can actually free Ruben's dad, and Ruben's dad will give us a quest item. You also gotta watch out for the whole status effects, which is really big confusion. That's more of a pain in the butt you can imagine. Now, alright, I forgot to highlight the age. There we go. Now we have farfelu actually doing some damage to Jin. Now, see, we got Jin in phase 2 on farfelu's side, while Hebinx is heading towards Spencer to get his item, which is the river coin. Now we have Hebinx facing off against Stefano, who does paralysis and stone. And we got Magic Mirror on from Ruben on farfelu's side. In most cases, when it comes to status effect, you always gotta make sure you have stone protection, in which the Aegis Shield provides. But Phoebe is vulnerable to stone, unfortunately. And from Arian, we got the chest, or Gemini Crest. Sorry. Now on Hebinx's side, he's got from Kaylee 1. He has gotten the Jumbo Bombs, which is not really needed since he has the Mega Grenades. Now on farfelu's side, we see him facing off against the trees in the blue battlefield right after one space after Firebird. Hey Anthony. And now Hebinx has gotten his lever crest. Apparently farfelu's gotten the Venus crest from that battlefield, which is not really needed since he has the Aegis Shield. Okay, seems farfelu is actually diving into. Farfelu is actually diving in the lava dome. And we got Gaia's armor on farfelu's side. That gives farfelu resistance to water, thunder, and wind. along with sleep protection, along with and that's pretty good for protection. While the moon helm gives protection against fire damage, which is they take at least little less damage from fire type attacks than anything. And Hebinx has gotten his Venus shield, which gives paralysis protection. Now we have Hebinx examining mine, and Hebinx has gotten the Giant's Axe. Which is final axe is pretty useful for actually chopping down trees. Well, I didn't know if properly started an axe or not, so I just put the axe in. And now we have Hebinx is starting to go after Jin himself to get Ruben's item and free Aryan to get the Gemini crest for himself. And we ran into gargoyles that had very much no sleep. Ooh, Jin is really giving Hebinx a hard time. And that's anyway. Now Hebinx has Jin 2, Jin in the phase 2. And we see a chest right nearby on farfelu's side. Okay, now we have Jin on Hebinx's side in the phase 3. Seeing farfelu side, Stefano Ruben is not immune against stone on his, as like usual. And okay, now Hebinx has the magic mirror. And farfelu has gotten the noble armor from the chest earlier. And both our characters have Ruben too. And Hebinx now has his Gemini crest. Hebinx has dived into Seal Cave, which holds nothing, honestly. Ah, we have Hebinx actually diving into volcanoes, see what treasures are had there. And thanks to the mask, you can actually see enemies in the foggy parts of the dungeon. Okay. Seems there's nothing there, and there's nothing in the volcano to obtain. But there's some treasures in Lava Dome that are very much for picking. And we have the Excalibur on Farfelu's side. Now with the final sword, he can actually go through Ice Pyramid to take on the Ice Golem. Now, will we see the nice Hydra, or will we see a mean one? We'll just have to wait and see. We got Quake from the chest here in the Hydra's room. And now we have farfelu face off against the Hydra. Those you may not know, Hydra has few attacks, and considering it's a Central Shuffle, it's a random. We got Hydra has the paralysis attack, stone attack, fire attack, and physical attacks. Physical attacks do a heck of a lot of damage. And if you don't have protection against stone or paralysis or poison, you'll be afflicted, but stone is a lot worse. It makes you not able to move. You ought to be healed by your partner. But in most cases, farfelu has prepared and it's already have protection against the status effects. And we have farfelu pretty much dragging Hydra into phase 2. On Hebinx side, we have him, well, it seems we have farfelu going straight from phase 2 to phase 4 up for the Hydra. And Hydra is done. And farfelu's first crystal has been lit. Unless I'm missing something. Now we have Hebinx actually heading towards Hydra, collecting treasures along the way. And from the old man behind the Libra crest, we have the Apollo helm on farfelu's side. Now that is a good armor that gives you real good protection against fire, cutting the damage in half. And that's pretty useful against the Dark King when it comes to time to face him. Now we have farfelu actually heading into the ice pyramid. His goal is to defeat the ice golem and light the water crystal. And with Hebinx, he's basically just searching for our treasure. while defeating enemies. This will actually help him level up a bit more. Now, whether or not there's going to be a lot of treasure in Ice Pyramid is yet to be determined. But we'll see if there is. If it's high and dry, there's nothing to be looted, but who knows? And there's going to be times that enemies who face the minor ones will not leave behind a red chest. Most of the time, they'll most likely leave behind a brown chest. And with the brown chest shuffled flag, it pretty much says whatever boss you have that's guarding a chest will be dropping a certain chest, whether it be a red chest or a brown. So that's a random. Now we have farfelu actually jump levels to get to the ice golem. And we got the magic ring on farfelu's side. Okay, now we have Hebinx actually face off against the Hydra himself. Now, will he be able to drag a Hydra into phase 2 like farfelu did easily, or will it be a pipe dream? It's possible. Now, on farfelu's side, we have Ruben casting white and white drawing flare, in which defeats the ice golem and pretty much frees the war crystal. So I presume that would be 2 crystals he has lit. And we have got the sun coin on farfelu's side. Now we have Hebinx actually gotten the Hydra into phase 3. Phase 4 is when the Hydra actually lays down with his wings broken. And there's phase 4. Elixir and heal on farfelu's. Now that farfelu has both Tree Wither and Elixir, he can recruit. He can actually recruit Kaylee and Kaylee 2. First, he has to get the item from Kaylee here in regards to the Minotaur. Once he defeats the Minotaur, he will get the item from Kaylee. And Hebinx has gotten the Apollo helm as well. Okay, now seems now we have farfelu actually diving into Bone Dungeon to finish off the boss. So this will be 3 crystals he's done with after Flamerous Rex is done. And Hebinx has 2 crystals lit, the earth and fire crystals. He's now going for the water crystal, which is held by the ice golem. After some of those treasures in Bone Dungeon has become very barren. So now we have farfelu facing off against Flamerous Rex. A one hit with life banishes Flamerous Rex and lights the third crystal for farfelu, the earth, which means he has one more crystal to light. Then he will get the sky coin, which is all that's left. After that is the Mobius crest. And this will be very, very quick too. Now farfelu will be heading towards Windia to pick up BB too. Thus also getting Kaylee 2's item. And we have the Windia vendor selling a Blizzard book for 200. Now we have the Rainbow Road fixed thanks to farfelu turning in the Thunder Rock to Dr. Otto. And BB is pretty much the big deal when it comes to the spells, because she now has the spell White. And from Kaylee 2, farfelu has gotten the multi-key, which is needed to get into the Hermit's house in Fireburg. Now we have farfelu diving into Pazuzu's tower to see Pazuzu, and possibly see if there's any items that's needed. Now on Hebinx's side, we have Hebinx using Flare and White to take on the Ice Golem. And Ice Golem's gone, lighting up the Dirt Crystal for Hebinx for water. All that's left for these two is the Wind Crystal, and they got the Sky Coin. And now we have Suncoin on Hebinx's side. Now, considering to get Pazuzu, it's about Pazuzu. You have to make sure he's trapped on certain floors by hitting the switches with the axe. Now we have Elixir and Heal from Hebinx. And in which now Hebinx can actually obtain Kaylee 2, which when he goes to Windia and picks up Phoebe, she will give him the multi-key. Yeah, that's true. I did forget to mention that, but thanks, Giga. Okay, now we seem to have farfelu going after Pazuzu. And on Hebinx's side, he's in the rope bridge, and he's gotten the cure spell from the first chest in the rope bridge. Now Hebinx has already gotten to Kaij, and there's really nothing there. Now he's pretty much checked the Windhole Temple and there wasn't really anything there either. Now seems we have Pazuzu. We have farfelu now facing Pazuzu. And Pazuzu definitely hits like a truck. If you consider the damage he did. And we pretty much, Life and Phoebe are firing flare and white at what was the strategic benefit to do so? The strategic move is usually to trap him within one of the elevators to where he can't escape. But yeah, I could see how. But Giga is pretty much right. That was my mistake right there. There was none. So even if you get to the top of the tower, you're forced to talk to him anyway. I stand corrected on what I said. So I'll take that back. Ooh. Yeah. That dive is a real... Just like Giga said. Now we have Hebinx diving into Pazuzu's tower to face off against Pazuzu himself. Now, seems Pazuzu is really doing a lot of damage to farfelu. Yeah, that's right, Wildham. Pazuzu is a jerk. Besides, when was he ever not a jerk, Wildham? He's always been a jerk each day this SC is rolled. But yeah, every time he does that constant sex shield, he gets an extra attack. Now we have Hebinx climbing around and starting to hit the switches. The trap, pretty much the trap Pazuzu like Farfelu did. But yeah, thanks to the guy armor, the damage the main character receives from Arrow is pretty much reduced. So usually instead of like 600 or 700, it's down to like 300 something HP of damage. And farfelu finally has gotten Pazuzu to phase 1. Well, phase 2 actually. Phase 3 is basically where he lays down and his eyes are red, like a mad hornet. Now we have Hebinx facing off against Pazuzu. And the Jerk Bird is not having any of their attitudes, so he's trying to knock them down a few pegs. And farfelu, we have farfelu knocking Pazuzu down to phase 3, which is his last phase before his KO. And farfelu has defeated Pazuzu and lit the final crystal, thus granting him the Sky Coin, which means the last thing he's missing happens to be the Mobius Crest, which will give him Go Mode. I think farfelu is going to be looking around to find out where the Mobius Crest is. It's possible it could be with the Hermit, and that's where he's going to go check. Mobius Crest, Go Mode for farfelu. That's a quick one. Now, I don't know if Hebinx actually gotten the captain's cap yet. Hopefully we'll see when he opens his inventory. Now we have farfelu actually going into the ship to find Captain Mac and give him his hat. To be in control of his ship. which will give him a ride to Doom Castle. The only protection he doesn't really have much is diffusion. That's what gives that is what the Cupid's locket gives. So this is gonna be a big risk for him, because Dark King loves giving confusion when he's in his fire form and his eel form, which is phases 3 and 4. Now Hebinx has lit his 4th crystal, thus giving him Sky Coin. Which means they both have the right to face off against Dark King. Now, farfelu has pretty much secured the ship to go to Doom Castle to face off against Dark King. In this seed, not only is it a saved crystal, but it's a Dark King only one. Which means instead of facing off against the 4 guardians before Dark King, you just go straight to Dark King. So now we have farfelu going straight to Dark King with only the magic ring as his protection. We'll see how he fares without the Cupid locket. If it works, if it pays off, congratulations to him. Not well. He's still leads ahead of Hebinx. Now, according to this, for up to 150 for boss, he probably has a max of over maybe 41 or 42k. And it seems he's forced into farfelu is forced Dark King into phase 2 with the axe weapon and all that. Thanks Giga, that much is appreciated. Again, thank you Giga for this information. Makes it a lot easier on me. And we have the Venus key in the first floor of the tree. It seems now farfelu has pretty much forced Dark King into phase 3. And this is where the problems begin. We have the arrow spell from that chest locked right near Spencer. And there's Spider Kid. Right there. Spider Kid does damage depending on if your character's defenses is lowered or not. it's not lowered, it will do a certain amount. If it's lowered, it'll do a lot, which will hurt your character pretty big. In Hebinx, in farfelu's case, around 773 on his main character, and 818 on Phoebe. And there's your Mega White, which is non-elemental damage to both of your characters. And on Hebinx's side, he has now gotten the Mobius Crest. Now we have Hebinx heading towards the chest in the focus tower to get Cupid Locket. Man, okay, he skipped that one. This is gonna end badly for Hebinx anyway, but I'm not even gonna say anything about it because that's too mean. And farfelu has went straight to it's pretty much went straight to fourth phase. And seems farfelu has white. I'm not gonna say anything bad about that. I mean, I understand it pretty well because I wiped so many times with him too. So I'm not gonna say anything about it. Oh, okay, he did get the captain's cap. I didn't see that one. Well, at least I know Hebinx is in go mode as well. Anyway, it seems we have both going against the Dark King again. No, hey, seems Hebinx has gotten to phase 2 once, and farfelu is back to phase 3. Sorry about earlier. Confusion protection pretty much causes a lot of problems if you don't have to lock it, but that's something else. That hurts. Having get hit by a laser, man, that is a disaster, and that hurts too. There's one thing I wouldn't even wish on my enemies if I were to face them. I wouldn't want to hit them with a laser, like especially that much damage. Seems. Yeah, true. But Kiroro is pretty much like an auto usage for a skill. There was those skill swaps for Dark. That was for like other bosses. Now we have Hebinx actually. Now I have Hebinx actually going through phase 3 for Dark King. And that was a pure knockout on Hebinx's side when on his main character. And thanks to Aegis Shield, both Hebinx and farfelu have been given protection from stone. Yeah, I can understand that, Nora lady. It is a nail biter, but hey, Dark King is pretty much a tough enemy, especially if he's the final boss. The real deal is that darkness weapon he's using. Of course, they call it darkness lightning or something. I don't know why. And because Hebinx has the locket, he is protected from confusion. Now we have Hebinx actually sending Dark King into phase 4, with farfelu sending Dark King into phase 3 again. In this case, Dark King at this point will just be using laser, silver, gold, web, and Spire Kits, along with Mega Flare and Mega White. Silver Web is a more or less the problem if it hits Phoebe, who has no protection against confusion. Or Golden Web, which pretty much does stone. And we got a winner! Hebinx finished with the original time of 1 hour, 1 minute and 59 seconds. GG to Hebinx. GG, Hebinx.
GG. That was, I'm looking back and I'm looking, that one came down to the wire.
Sorry about that. I ended up having to correct the whole winter thing.
It's all good.
What did you think of the seed so far?
That that fully loaded giant crab with every status ailment I could think of was mean, and I thought I had lost the race after wiping on him twice. But just kind of stayed the course, and stuff was all over the place. I'm glad I decided to dip tree instead of continuously going through it. I'm really glad I decided to double back and get Cupid Locket. Like, Cupid Locket was my go mode for this seed. Yes, I had basically everything else I could have wanted, but Cupid Locket, like especially with the webs, I didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, I'm surprised you managed to at least get the Venus key, get the other items that were locked behind the chest.
Yeah, no, I peeked that red chest earlier at North Focus Tower, and I was like, something good could be in there, but I don't want to go there until I get Venus Key. And then as soon as I got Venus Key in tree, I was like, well, it's now or never. And Mobius Crest being locked behind the Hermit was a good one, I guess. It is what it is. But yeah, overall, I know farfelu. We were talking after the match. After I finished, he apparently got stuck on Dark King for like 14 minutes. So he had what I had going on against my last match. My last round with Freddy, and I intentionally have been changing my route to make sure that that doesn't happen again. Because up front it looks like it's going to cost you time, right? And you're like, oh man, it's slow to go get everything. But with these seed settings, I'm only coming in like a minute or two over the hour. So unless we have an incredible jet seed where it's a sub hour, where like only like 2 or 3 of those has happened this tournament, um, it's usually best to make sure you're fully stacked before going into this tournament.
Mm-hmm. Now, what did you think of the Dark King, though?
Dark King, honestly, not that bad for me. I think he was a vanilla phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 3 was a little chunky, and by the time I got to phase 4, I felt like I'd already burned my luck. So I just kind of did buckle down Madam President strats where I used Ben as a bodyguard, but I really wasn't happy with his speed. It was inconsistent. So the Madam President strat works best if Dark King goes first, and then Phoebe goes, and then Ben goes. But what was happening was Phoebe was outspeeding King, so it would mess up my triage turns to the point where it would throw me out of the loop, and I would have to either double triage turn and like basically lose a turn to make sure that Ben died so I can pick him up, or risk it, play risky and get damage off. I played with both, but ultimately by phase 4, I was like, no, we're just going to stick defensive. I don't want to throw the match at round 4, at phase 4, and it worked out for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, boy, Farfelu, Farfelu missed not only the Venus key but also the Cupid Locket.
Yeah, he was telling me, and he didn't have life either apparently. So
Dang.
it went in really under equipped, and sometimes that works out for you and you can luck through it, and other times I think all of us have had a Dark King struggle this tournament. And that's not saying anything against the skill of Farfelu, who's an incredible player, but it's just a matter of making that judgment call on whether or not you want to make that gamble. And he gambled this time and unfortunately didn't pay off. But if things had gone in his favor, and if King had thrown a good pattern to him like it did last race where there were no webs, I could easily see this being the other way around and him, being here with the winner's interview tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Apparently, seems you guys are already in game 3.
Yes, so match 3 is scheduled for tomorrow night at 6 p.m. We don't have a channel yet. Honestly, I didn't think I was going to win tonight. With how I'd been playing lately, I just felt, like I might lose this one. So I was like, we'll just do 2 matches. But I ended up winning tonight, and we're gonna have a nail biting match 3 tomorrow, 6 p.m. East Coast time. What channel it'll be on, you'll just have to join the Discord and find out.
Mm-hmm. As far as I know, might not be a possibility for me to be able to do tracking or commentating at that time around 6 p.m. because I don't usually get home late until usually don't get home from work till like probably a little bit after 5 or so.
Well,
But it really depends on how far my parents drive me, you know?
Yeah, well, we have some other amazing community members that we can potentially rope in for commentary if you can't make it. And I saw Giga try to throw in the Discord link, but unfortunately it was blocked. If you want to join our community Discord, you can find it at ffmqrando.net. And there's a link on the left-hand side to our community Discord. If you're interested in this randomizer, it's super friendly. I wholeheartedly recommend it. I've gone through and curated a new players channel just for beginners. So if you feel daunted by a randomizer, but you want to get your feet wet, you have nostalgia for this game, hop in there. We have all the resources I've sourced from all of our senior players. Everything you can think of. And if there's nothing in there, if there's something in there that you still have questions about, we have a general room. Everybody's super friendly. They'll be sure to answer any of your questions.
Well, I have the link copy, so I can paste it in the chat.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yep, there's a link with the stream elements bot there, chat. So if you want to go to ffmqrando.net, there's also a link our community Discord with that stream elements there. But yeah.
Okay, we're about ready to wrap up. So if you like what we saw, if you like what the races are, go ahead and give our runners a follow, Hebinx and farfelu. And if you want to, you can give me, Captain Nerd 2, and our restreamer Giga Otomia a follow. It'd be very much appreciated. Care to bring the link for the runners and commentators and all that? If we can get it.
I can't remember
No.
the command.
Well, we'll figure it out, you know? But anyway, those of you who watch, thank you on behalf of and thank you Final Fantasy Randomizer for letting us use your channel for this race. And as part of the FFMQR community, me, Hebinx, farfelu, and Giga Otomia, thank you for watching and have a good night.
Good night, everybody.